What's going on, everybody? This is Lemon Drop 14E back with another new old tutorial. So, last one we did was realistic lightning, and this one is going to be realistic flames. So, right off the bat, I want to remind you guys to hit the like button, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Okay, let's get started. So, as usual, we are starting with the black car, or if you don't have a car that's black, you don't need to back out, just, you know, place down a square and make it big, whatever. But yeah, so for the base of these, we're just going to use the simple flames that they give us, because honestly, that's a whole lot easier than making your own. And I usually like to go with this bottom left one. It's not always in this position in the menus, depending on the game you're playing, but this is the one they have that I like to use. So mainly, you just kind of want to, well, Narco 9, no idea who you are, but I don't wish to play with you. Yeah, I usually shape them down to make them pretty narrow. If even numbers makes you happy, just do, you know, keep the width at 1 and the height at 50, fine. And the secret behind this is, you really want to have a lot of layers, and you want it to be transparent. But this base flame is actually not going to change in the transparency. So what we're going to do is go over here, whoopsies, and grab this very bottom circle. This is the one I like to use because, like I stated in the other video with the lightning, this one's a little bit too dense in the middle. So I like to play it safe here, and we could always, you know, put 2 down if we wanted to add to the density. But for now, I'm just going to make it a bright color so I can see it easier. And you just kind of want to line it up over your flame here. And you want it to be roughly the same size as your flame. It doesn't have to be exact. In fact, if you have a little bit of glowing around the edge, that's preferable. So yeah, we're going to do it right about like that, give or take. So if you want to look at my numbers, just for sake of being even, I'm at 1.8 and then 70. And I'm at -5 and 30.5. So, if you're wanting to copy this exactly, which honestly, you don't need to, you can do your own. But the numbers aren't super crucial because these flames always look different, and that's sort of by design. So we're only going to need one more layer here, and we'll be ready to go. And we need one more of these light gradient circles. But this time, you want it to be the color as your background. It just so happens we have a black background, so we want to make it go here, and we're going to make it really small. So, by doing this, we make it seem as though there is depth, and there's like defined edges to the flames. So, I'll put one here, and I'll put one there, and I'll definitely put one, I'm going to shorten this one up a little bit, but yeah, I'm gonna put one there. And what that does, it sort of gives a depth, I guess, once they're all layered together. And as usual, when I'm making these layers, I want to group up the like layers, so all those background fades I'm going to keep together. These two are just single layers, there's no need to do that. But you're going to take your glow layer and delete it, and then paste it under your base layer, and then that is what you should have left. So the layers go your glowing color, your flame, and then your depth areas, whatever you want to call those. And that's pretty much it. So now I'm going to group these, well, I'm not going to group them up, I'm just going to highlight them so I can move them all as one. And once you get that done, and you can move them all as one, sorry if I repeated myself there, you can just start placing them around. So for instance, I like to start kind of low over here, and go ahead and we're going to just use the Y button as normal and stamp it down. And we don't want our flames to like cross over like that because it's hard to get a defined outline, but with these you want a lot of crossover, and you want your flames to kind of be tangled up in each other. It adds to the effect. So you just want to move them around so that the glow sort of overtakes what's under it. And when you're done, you just want to have sort of a flowing effect, almost like water, which is kind of ironic, but it's true, where it's just flowing down the side of the car. Now, let's say you think, you know, I want to have some more over here by the door handle, and you go over here and you think, I'll just put one down, and then you place it there. You can't do that because it's now over the top. Something that's very important with these is your layering, where the highest ones need to be all the way to the left, and to make that happen you have to start at the right. So if you miss a spot like I say I did here, what I'll do, I'll just grab this. I'm sorry, I won't grab this. I'll highlight this one, I will delete it, and I'll flip through here till I get to about where I want it in my layers. So I wanted it to end up right about here, so I'll go ahead and place it right there, and then now I can just move it down, and there we go, it's blended right in. So you could either do it that way, or you could just delete what you put down, because it's very simple just to paste them all right back in order. But now for the second part, I want to show you guys. We'll go ahead and this is sort of where it gets a little bit more tedious, but I think it pays off a lot. So we're going to go through and just highlight each of the base flames, and by doing this we're going to be able to change the color all at once, which is the goal that we are trying to get to here. And the only two variable colors are going to be the flame itself and then the glow section, because this section here is always going to match your background. So really you don't want to mess with that, because you'll kind of lose your depth of field there. So anyway, let's change these flames into, say, let's make it easy, let's go orange. Everyone likes orange flames. And you think, okay, you could be done right there and have some pretty sick flames. Or you could go through and highlight only your glow layers, and by doing that you can really manipulate the way these things look. And you could even go through, you know, halfway and start adding some different colors to the base flames, so you kind of get like a blended effect all the way through. I mean, you can do literally anything. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to change color. So yeah, you could go dark and just, you know, have like some feathered in faded flames, or you could go, I mean, fluorescent, and they will almost look like they are glowing at night in the game, so that's pretty cool. But I tend to go with pretty basic hot rod colors, just orange and blue. That's a really bright blue, but yeah, so that's basically how you can end up with. But I will go ahead and show you guys how it is you can get the blended effect. And like I said, when you do the blended effect, whoopsie, you have to pay a little bit more attention to where you're selecting. So, for instance, at the very end flames, which you can see when you highlight it, it'll flash on the car where you're at. So I want the ones towards the end, I want these to be sort of a bluish color. So I'll go right to there. So I'm going to change this color to, like I said, a bluish color. So we'll end up right about there. And so the glow on those, I think, needs to match. So we'll turn it to a slightly different shade of blue, because you don't want it to be, you know, 1-to-1. That might look a little odd. But if we even, there you go, do a little bit of a darker blue. Then you go back and let go of all those. Now you're here at your second area, and so I'm going to grab these. Yeah, I think that's it for there. Actually, I'm going to let go of that one. That might be a little much. And that one. Yeah, that's good. So now these I'm going to change the color, and we're going to do, should we go red? Sort of a purpley color. And this is where, I mean, you could do all kinds of different options. But towards the end, I'll go a little bit more in the, I guess I'll just keep it right there because that's really the brightest orange they have. So I'm going to go back through, and just like I did with the blue, I'm going to change the glow. Whoopsies, went too many. I'm going to change the glow here to kind of match that orangish color. Now, see with the orange, again, you don't want to match it specifically because then you kind of get this effect in the middle where, like, kind of lose the edges of your flames. Where if you had it like that, just 1 degree darker, and you gain so much depth. So just keep that in mind whenever you're choosing your glow or your shadow, whatever you want to call it here. And so let's go ahead and keep moving back. And honestly, I might do the rest. Yeah, in one go. So change these. I'm going to make these pretty much bright yellow. And also, don't forget to change your glow color. And you do not have to follow these colors that I'm doing. You can make them rainbow down the side. You can do different shades of blue where it gets dark blue and works its way lighter. You can do whatever you want. And you can use as many flames as you want. So don't feel like you're restricted to just a handful here. So here I'm just going to use... Ooh, I kind of like that. You could go with white maybe. The white definitely lightens them up a little bit. I'm going to go right there. Kind of makes that blend into the orange a little bit better. Actually, I like the way that blends so much. I'm going to go down here and change some of these dark orange ones and make them a little bit closer to that blue I used at the end. Alright, now you can see that really, I've said it 4 or 5 times now, but you really can just make everything blend together however you want. So I'm going to quit messing with them right here. I'm going to make sure all of these are unselected now. You just want to flip through and make sure none of them are selected. That way we can use these as one big vinyl. So now you, as always, hold down the right trigger and hit down, and you will automatically select everything. You can just group these up, and now you can move them as one. So I might even go and start them right about here. And also I found what works quite a bit is if you sort of layer these themselves. So I'll place like this one here and then just move it. And move it down a little bit. And you even have more depth. Although that didn't work real well. I wonder if I size this down, if that'll help. There we go. Maybe do something like that. Yeah, like I said, you can just work them all the way around and do whatever you want with them. And the last thing I like to do though, since these are excessively bright sometimes. Actually, I need to move these to the left. There we go. Since these, like I said, tend to be really bright, I do like to take this vinyl in particular, make it match the background, and just widen it out. And it's the same thing you can do with your lightning, like you saw in our previous video. It just kind of knocks that hard glowing edge off. So, you know, if you leave it like this, you don't have it quite so glowy. But if you take it off, you know, it gets a little lighter. You can even double them up to knock it off a little more. Just, you know, season it for taste. But what we will do, I'll go ahead and copy this and take it to the top. And you can do pretty much exactly like what we did with the lightning. And just transfer these straight to the top. But the thing that's kind of tricky about these is, say we'll put those there. We'll go to the right side and insert all of them. And then copy these from the right side. So that we then have a mirrored image on the hood of the car. Which is always nice to have symmetry like that. But what you might be noticing already is that there seems to be a little bit of an issue, because if you look down here, the hood starts and the flames are pretty abrupt and they're not very smooth at all. But we have a fix for that. Let's say we'll just leave them there. Be fine with that. Again, I'm going to use, whoopsies, not that. I'm going to use this box fade, if you want to call it that. I'm going to do the same thing I've done on the sides, but do it on the top here. I'm going to go, I'm actually going to move this right here just so I can see what I'm doing. So yeah, I want to make sure it reaches all the way across, or all the way down rather. I'll spread that out a little bit. And I'm going to rotate it just so it kind of works with the same angle as the flames. Placing it there. I'm going to move it over here. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And like I said, this is more of a preference for me to try and soften the edge a little bit. Because when you're doing these quote-unquote realistic flames, it kind of takes your... It distracts from the flames, I think, when you can see a hard edge. So, and yeah, then we'll place it there. And now to deal with the issue that we have here, where you have some flames down there on the splitter, some under the headlights, the best thing I've seen, if you go back in here, and you grab this one here, which we will now have a use for, you can drag it down to the base of your hood. And once it works its way down here, you can stretch it out, and it sort of is like I don't know, it takes the edge off the base of the flames, but while it also does that, it also makes it so you don't have to worry about transitions. So let's make this transparency a little less. It's a little harsh for me, and we'll leave it right about there. So now you see your flames look like they're just starting naturally, and you don't have to worry about matching any flames to the bumper to make it a seamless flow up and over the hood. But that pretty much will do it for this episode. I hope you guys were able to take something out of this, and like I said, this is just a very basic starter spot of it, or a starting point of it rather, excuse me. You can take this, you can add a lot more transparency, a lot more flames, you can change the size of the flames as they work down the side of the car or up the hood or anything like that. There is unlimited possibilities for what you can do. This is just the very beginner tutorial of how to start working with these. So trust me, you can spend hours and hours just working on getting it just right. So I hope I helped, and as always, listen to the license plate. Thanks a lot. See you guys next time. Bye.